The final shape brought some really strong new weapons and made some old weapons even better. So in this video, I'll go over 12 must-have weapons in the final shape and how you can get them for yourself. I'm Marshix, and I need you to like the video before they find me. No Hesitation is the weapon for solar subclasses. First of all, it's a new type of auto rifle called a support frame. It shoots tracking bullets that deal damage to enemies and also heal allies whenever you hit them. I can finally shoot my friends in the back of the head and not get called names like serial killer. And because this heals people, this will activate the Ember of Benevolence fragment on Solar, which will make all your abilities regenerate faster, and with how often you heal people with this auto rifle, you'll always have this active. It also gets a bunch of perks that complement its support role, like Physic, which gives you and your allies restoration for even better healing, and Circle of Life, which will give you a damage buff every time you heal your allies. Once again, this is constantly active in 90% of the game. It also gets other great perks like Incandescent to apply Scorch to enemies, and trigger fragments like Ember of Searing and Ember of Singeing to further increase your ability regen. Demolitionist and Strategist are also present on this for even more ability regen, as well as Subsistence and Overflow so you don't have to reload as often, and Frenzy, Desperate Measures, and Surrounded for some pretty solid damage buffs. This has a bit of everything, so you can really just craft it to fit into your exact build. This comes from the Pale Heart loot table, so basically just open chests on the Pale Heart, buy them from the Ghost, run the Micah 10 missions, or finish overthrow activities. And once you get 5 red borders, you can craft the exact role that you want with enhanced perks, so it just gets even better. Another weapon that provides a ton of healing is Red Death. This is an amazing pulse rifle in both PvE and PvP. Each kill will give you a chunk of your health back, and reloading after a kill will apply that healing to your nearby allies. So once again, this can trigger Ember of Benevolence for some really easy ability regen. It also deals more damage the lower your health gets, and it will have a catalyst in Act 2 that improves its healing potential even more. This will provide you with more healing, and it will create remnants, which are the same things that Lumina makes. So there could be some really interesting synergy there in the future. But regardless, this is just a really solid pulse rifle that keeps you alive with no setup required. Just get kills to heal yourself, reload to heal your allies, get more kills, and repeat the cycle. This weapon comes from the Season Pass at rank 40 if you're free to play, or rank 1 if you're a normal player. Trinity Ghoul is the best bow for ad clear, but what if I said there was a legendary Trinity Ghoul? Introducing Non-Denouement, a legendary arc bow that gets Volt Shot. Get a kill, then reload, and your next shot will create Chain Lightning. This makes you deal a lot more damage to your next target and everything around it. And since you have to reload every arrow anyway, you don't have to go out of your way to keep this active. In low level content, this will kill just about any red bar, and in higher level content, it will get them weak enough to finish them off with the next shot. But it doesn't stop there because this also gets Dragonfly in the other column. So now precision kills will cause them to explode, then you get Volt Shot for Chain Lightning, and you'll create so much chaos. This bow comes from the new Salvation's Edge raid, specifically the 1st, 2nd, and 4th encounters, and if you manage to get 5 red borders, you can craft it with this God Roll perk combo. Wardcliff Coil plus Wither Horde, Rule 34. Lost Signal is the first ever area denial grenade launcher. What that means is it shoots a burst of grenades similar to Wardcliff Coil, and those grenades will leave a pool of stasis goo that deal damage over time to anything standing inside, just like Wither Horde. So this is obviously really powerful for blocking off areas or camping spawns, and it can be used to deal extra damage in the background against stationary bosses or stun champions. For the perks, you definitely need auto-loading holster to be able to shoot once, swap to another weapon while the goo sits there and deals damage, then swap back and shoot it again. And the final column perk will depend on how you want to play with this weapon. If you want it to block off doorways and spawn kill a bunch of ads, go with Reverberation to slightly increase the size of its detonations. If you want this just for boss damage, go with Vorpal Weapon for a 15% damage buff against bosses. And if you plan on using this for an ad clear and boss damage hybrid, go for One for All. This will provide a 35% damage buff, so more than Vorpal Weapon, but you will need to hit 3 separate targets beforehand. However, that's not much of an issue since this is designed to hit multiple targets. This is actually a seasonal weapon, so just play the game to earn Echo Engrams and turn them into failsafe for this amazing grenade launcher. This is craftable, and you can buy 1 guaranteed red border every week, so it shouldn't be hard to get your hands on a God Roll. A simple yet strong weapon this season is the Kvostov, specifically the exotic Kvostov. This is an auto rifle that ricochets bullets between enemies. Just use this like you would any other auto rifle, and the ricochets will just get free kills. And after picking up an orb of power, this effect becomes even stronger by bouncing your shots between multiple targets. It also has really high base stats compared to other auto rifles, so it feels really good to use, and it's a monster in the Crucible. It's really easy to land shots, and by the time you kill one person, the ricochet will tag another person, which makes it that much easier to secure the second kill. I'll be honest, it would take me 15 minutes to explain how to get this, and it would just be worse than Asdacross's guide, so I'll just link that here instead, and you can watch it if you need help. The new artifact is basically begging us to use swords and void weapons. So what better weapon than Falling Guillotine? This is a void vortex frame sword that gets multiple damage perks at the same time, with Vorpal Weapon and Frenzy in the first column, and Surrounded, Whirlwind Blade, Bait and Switch, and more in the other column. Double damage perks means this deals a lot more damage than most other swords, and it works with a bunch of artifact mods like Blade Stamina for more sword ammo, Argent Blade for more sword damage, Overload Sword for overload sword, and Expanding Abyss to deal more void damage to weakened targets. So against bosses that can be sworded, this is a top tier option for DPS. This sword is a random drop while playing Onslaught, and once you get a god roll, you can enhance it in the weapon screen to get enhanced perks, but it's definitely not cheap. Now, in order to take advantage of Expanding Abyss, you need a way to weaken enemies. This can be done with smoke bombs, tether, tractor cannon, or void grenades, but the most consistent source of weaken is Buried Bloodline. This is a special ammo sidearm that gives you Devour after you get a few kills with it, regardless of your subclass. Devour will heal you after every kill, and give you a chunk of grenade energy after every kill. So it's already really powerful. However, with Buried Bloodline, while you have Devour, each enemy you hit with it will become weakened. This means they take 15% more damage from all sources, and you can take advantage of Expanding Abyss for even more damage. This is an extra 5% increase, and that doesn't sound like much, but that's a 5% increase to everything you hit with Buried Bloodline. Just get Devour, hit a boss with a sidearm, then swap to your Falling Guillotine and melt it. So long story short, this already great sidearm is even better this season, or episode, whatever you want to call it. Now the way you get this weapon is by completing the Warlord's Ruin dungeon and just getting lucky. It's a rare drop from the final boss, and completing dungeon triumphs can increase your chance of getting it. You already know how good this next weapon is, but I have to mention it anyway. Still Hunt is the exotic sniper rifle that shoots golden gun shots. It has its own super meter, and whenever it's full, you can hold reload to shoot 3 golden gun shots on any character, and this super meter charges by getting 6 precision hits, or by picking up 12 orbs of power, or any combination of the two. And yes, this does work with Celestial Nighthawk to condense the 3 already powerful shots into one really powerful shot. This will make it deal a lot more damage, and allows you to start building towards your next super a few shots faster. This weapon is great for everything. Tormentors, champions, subjugators, mini bosses, raid bosses. I can't imagine a scenario where this wouldn't be good. You probably already have this weapon, but in case you don't, you get this from the wildcard quest from Cade after you complete the Final Shape campaign. Melee builds have gotten even better with the Final Shape thanks to the exotic class items, with Spirit of the Assassin, Spirit of Caliban, Spirit of the Liar, and most importantly, Spirit of Synthoceps. So having a good shotgun with 1-2 punch is crucial to a lot of top tier builds right now. 1-2 punch will increase your melee damage each time you hit an enemy with your shotgun. So if you stack a bunch of melee buffs, then shotgun punch, you can deal a lot of damage. And this works with grapple punches too, for even more damage per hit. Just shotgun, grapple, punch, or grapple, cancel your grapple, shotgun, and then punch. 1-2 punch is available on a bunch of shotguns, like Wastelander, Swordbreaker, the Akelos shotgun, and so many more. Any shotgun will work as long as they have 1-2 punch. Incandescent weapons also got a lot better this season. Incandescent was already really strong, being able to spread Scorch to enemies after every kill. Scorch deals damage over time, but it also counts as a debuff. This is important because most prismatic hunters are using Stylish Executioner to become invisible after you kill a debuffed enemy. This does work with Incandescent, meaning you can get 1 kill to spread Scorch, then get another kill to turn invisible, reassess the situation, and then continue the cycle. It is on a 1 or 2 second cooldown, but that's not really a problem because it's so easy to activate. Most solar weapons have Incandescent, but my favorites are the BXR Battle Rifle, Zawali's Bane, Callus Mini Tool, Amit, and No Hesitation. Microcosm is the first ever heavy trace rifle, and it's also the first ever kinetic heavy weapon. This deals additional damage to shields and gives you additional super energy after every kill. But that's not why it's good. Since this is a heavy weapon, it outputs some really high damage numbers. It just tears through tormentors and champions. And because this is a trace rifle, it works with Cenotaph Mask, which will give ammo to your teammates, as well as automatically reloading your microcosm even while you're firing it. Normally you have to reload 3 times to shoot its full ammo reserves, but with Cenotaph, you can shoot around 250 shots before needing to reload, which means you only ever have to reload this weapon once, even if you have a chest piece with extra reserve mods. In just one phase against the Grasp of Avarice Ogre, I was able to deal over 1.7 million damage with this trace rifle, solo. That's about a third of his health without any debuffs. And you have to keep in mind, this is just a simple point and click weapon. No need to run Celestial Nighthawk Still Hunt, no Izanagi rocket swapping, no shoot Navigator over a boss and grapple melee 5 times with 1-2 punch while keeping everything alive for Symphoseps. None of that. Just shoot the boss in the face and maybe reload once. I tried this against the Witness in the new raid, and it's not like I was the highest damage on the team, but I definitely was the most consistent. To get this weapon, you need to first complete the Final Shape campaign, then complete the Convalescence Rootbound quest from Micah 10, which just has you do a bunch of stuff in the patrol zone. Then you'll get the Convalescence Budding quest for Microcosm, which has you complete these 3 missions on the Pale Heart. Warning, these cannot be done solo and they require a lot of communication, so join my Discord in the description. I'm sure there are a bunch of people in the same situation trying to get this exotic too. And while you're down there, like the video. Up next is a weapon we've all gotten at least once, but it gets absolutely crazy once you craft it. This weapon is of course the Call. This is the Pale Heart rocket sidearm, which means it deals a lot of damage per shot, it's very ammo efficient, and it gets some really great perks like Lead from Gold to ensure you never run out of ammo, Subsistence so you don't have to reload as often, and damage perks like One for All, Desperate Measures, Adrenaline Junkie, Vorpal Weapon, Golden Tricorn, and Multi-Kill Clip. It also gets a variety of other perks to help with specific builds, like Demolitionist for grenade builds, Strategist for class ability builds, Slice for debuff builds, and Hatchling for threadling builds. There's something for everyone. It also has the Dealer's Choice Origin trait, which gives additional super energy after kills, and this is affected by the Overcharged Armory artifact mod, which enhances this effect, and Winter's Hand, which basically gives this microscopic firefly. The explosion isn't very big, but it exists. This has been my go-to special weapon since I got it, and since this has so much ammo, I tend to run it with a second special weapon, and use this as my primary ad clear. I use this so much that I spent all my Deep Sight Harmonizers to craft it immediately, and I don't regret my decision. The only time I'm not using this is when I'm running Indebted Kindness, which you can farm for easily as a solo player if you click on this video. Thanks for watching, I'm Marshix, and I'll see you next time.